Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. Just a quick video. I heard a grinding noise from one of my brakes and the pedal felt a little soft. Usually you get a squealer noise when your brake pads are run down, but I did not get the squealer noise. So I'm going to pull off, I think it comes from the rear, but I'm not sure. I'm going to pull off these wheels and see what I got. Okay, I'm just going to show you the important stuff, alright? So I've got some high-rise floor jacks. I jacked it up right there where that piece of mounting metal is attached to, it's a mounting piece for the sway bar, I guess. It's attached to the rear axle, very solid. I need one rotor on this side. Let me see if I can show you. Let me get a flashlight. Okay, can you see how the rotor is well, it looks a little thin to me anyway. I got one for this side, and the other side looked okay. Not too bad. I probably could have got away with it, but I didn't want to take a chance. When the pad material is gone, the steel backing plate of the brake pad eats up the rotor, and you can see maybe see the little shiny silver pieces of metal there. Okay. So I have an air gun. I just gunned them off. You can do it by hand, but since I do over the years quite a lot of automotive work, I invested in a compressor and air gun and a bunch of air tools. I'm a little surprised this has some kind of an oily anti-rust liquid on it. Anyway, make sure you get some brake cleaner, and if yours are like that, clean it off. You definitely do not want that contaminating the pads. Okay, the next thing you do is you get a big C-clamp like that one there, and you have to compress the pad into the caliper, and you do that. Let's see, how can I show you this? One sec. Okay, make believe this caliper is still on the car. Oh shit, sorry. Don't want to let that happen because it puts a strain on the brake line, which could break. Anyway, you put the C-clamp around the caliper, one side all the way to the back. The other side goes in one of these two spaces here where the pad would be sticking out here, so you could actually touch it there or there. So one side of the C-clamp's in the back, the other side of the C-clamp is here. You compress it. That pushes the piston, which is on the other side of where I'm pointing. It pushes the piston. Let me see if I can show you. See, there's two on this one. It pushes those two pistons back into the housing, and that gives you the room to take the caliper off. Now, I looked a little bit more on this rotor, and it might not be that bad. So what I'm going to do, it's rough where you can see that pad backing plate has ground into it. That still has pad on it, not very much. That has zero pad at all because the squealer was installed wrong. The squealer was supposed to stick out more, so it squealed and it was set back too far. Anyway, I'm going to take off the other side, and then I'm going to measure the thickness of these rotors and see how bad this one is. I might not replace it. Okay? Let me show you that a little bit better on this side. See how I've got the C-clamp around the caliper. Top of the C-clamp is in back. The bottom of the C-clamp is in front. This is like in the middle of the caliper, in between where those two pistons are. And this is it's to one side. You can't really put it in the middle, although that would square off the C-clamp, but you can't do that. So you cock it a little bit, and now I'm going to compress those pistons into the caliper. Okay. So the caliper should almost literally fall right off. Remember, watch out for the hydraulic hose. And now we got our pads loose there. And now I'm going to measure this rotor versus the other rotor. Okay, so the new one is 30 and a quarter in millimeters. That's not the reading, I'm just showing you the caliper. 30 and a quarter is the new one, 30.25. And this one is 29.75. This is the one that did not get damaged by the pad, 29.75. And the other one is 29.25. The only thing is it's got some roughness to it. I'm going to reuse it. Some people will say I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do that. The thickness is fine. It's just got some roughness, and the pad will work its way into the roughness. In other words, it has like circular grooves in it, little circular grooves. The pad will bed itself into those grooves, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. Put it down in the comments if you think there is some issue with that, okay? Here's a little shot of the thickness of the new pads and the thickness of the old pads. Just FYI. Now I've got anti-squeal liquid and I've got lubricant. So the lubricant goes where the pads are supposed to slide, and that's on these ears and maybe somewhere else I'll show you. And the anti-squeal goes on the backing plate. See, these already have anti-squeal backing things on them, so might be unnecessary. And we've got new hardware. This is what the pads slide on and what holds them in kind of snug. Okay. A trick to compress the pistons all the way as far as you can, and you want to do this, take one of the old pads and reverse it. Well, just stick it in there the way it should be, and then use your C-clamp to press against both of those if you have two pistons. Because if you press just one at a time, the other one comes out, and you press this one, the other one comes out. But so you have to press both at a time, and then that forces the hydraulic fluid back up into the master cylinder. Okay? This part goes in just as I'm showing you. So this flat piece here, the middle piece, is towards, you see it? It's towards the pads, and there's this piece here has like a 90-degree angle on it. That goes towards the pistons. All right, and it should snap right in. If it doesn't go in fairly easily, you've got it the wrong way, so come back and refer to this picture. Lube these. There. All right, there's your lube. Make sure it's the correct lube. I'll put some links if I get a chance to do that in the comments. Lube it before you stick those on there. It'll be easier and you won't get any on the rotor or anywhere you don't want it. Like I said, I don't think I need it, but I'm putting some of that anti-squeal on there just for the fun of it, since I already have it. I use it mostly for the Corvette. The pad should look like that when they go in before you lay the caliper back on there. What else? Anything else I can put in at this point? Make sure these seals are not damaged or there's not any leakage here. If there's any damage to the seals or leakage, then you need to have the caliper rebuilt. Okay? And sliding. There's, let's see, I think there's a little bit of sliding here on these caliper bolts. I'm not sure about that. Put it down in the comments if you know. I'm taking these caliper bolts and putting a little blue Loctite on them. I took a wire brush and I held them with the vice grips and I cleaned the threads a little bit. This is a little detail, a little froggy detail. If you get your brakes done at the average service shop, they're not going to bother with this, but I think a little, because of the size of the bolts, I think a little blue Loctite just so that they don't ever come loose. Okay? I thought there was a sliding pin, and there is a sliding pin, and it should be lubricated if it's not already well lubricated, and it slides. Let me get a light on it. It slides in here, so the caliper bolt attaches to this, and I think there must be a wrench that goes on here. Let me take a look. Here's a picture how I just finished tightening it up. This is a 16 millimeter. It doesn't look like a nut, but it's got a couple of flats on it that are 16 millimeter. And this is, I forget what, 12 to tighten. So look up the torque spec. I'm going to wild ass guess at 25 or 30 foot-pounds, judging from the bolt size, but look it up, please. Well, that should be done on this side, and I'm not going to show you like the whole deal on the other side. As you can see on the outer pad, I did not need those circles of anti-squeal. Those were for the inner pad, but it doesn't hurt anything. If I wanted to, I could maybe put a dab on that and that and that on the inside where it touches the pad. So, I'm going to go do the other side, and I'm going to not film it quite as much. Put your questions or comments in the comment section. Okay? Okay, so that's it. Nothing else to add on this side. Just got to put the wheels back on and I'm done. So give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to the channel if you want more from Froggy. Ring the bell if you want notifications. Okay, Froggy out. Be safe. Have fun. Let's go, Brandon.